All right, Bleacher Report's Connor Rogers is with us now. Hey, man, so Michael and I just finished chatting as we rejoin you guys live from the fan experience here at the NFL Draft in Las Vegas. Man, it's unbelievable. The energy here is off the chain. Connor, we wish you were here. Just hope you could soak up this energy through the screen here. But listen, we were just talking about the Jags at 1. The fun starts at 1, which is unusual for most drafts, but understandable for a draft without a clear-cut quarterback or a team at number 1 without a need at quarterback. Michael Holley, I guess I would put your analysis of what the Jags should do simply as anybody but Travon Walker.
Yeah, pretty much. Is that right?
Do you see it that way, Connor?
Michael, you're spot on. I was listening to your previous segment, and everything you said is exactly right with this franchise, and it's kind of puzzling how we got here, right? It's fascinating to me. When you look at Travon Walker, yeah, he's a first-round caliber player in this draft. He is unlike any typical top 5, top 10 pick that we see in terms of the production or the lack thereof in the production. And when you look at Jacksonville, their help is staring them right in the face. Ike Ekwonu, in my eyes, is the best player in this draft. He would be fine kicking over to right tackle. I still think they have a need at right tackle. This offense was a disaster last year. I don't think just hiring Doug Peterson and making some mid-tier free agent signings is going to help that for the next 3 years. It might give you a boost for this year, but you draft for 3 years. You don't draft, obviously for 2 months. So, and then if you wanted to go defense, you're right. The high floor nature of Aiden Hutchinson makes a lot of sense. I mean, Kayvon Thibodeaux has a higher floor in my eyes as a pass rusher, at least. Not a run defender, but a pass rusher than Travon Walker. So I'm with you. It's puzzling, but guys, I think it's happening.
You think it's going to be Travon Walker?
Oh, is that right?
I really do. Everything I have heard is that is Trent Baalke's guy. Now, I think there's a little bit of a differing opinion with the new coaching staff. I think there is some wonder by the owner, who is very aware of public opinion, that is reading everything saying Aiden Hutchinson's a no-brainer number 1 overall pick. Like you said, even one of the tackles, whether it is Evan Neal or Ike Ekwonu, make a lot of sense. And I think he's, probably pushing a little bit upstairs saying, hey, why are we taking this guy? But if it is Trent Baalke's call at the end of the day, then I think it will be Travon Walker, and I do believe he has the most power within that organization.
So the only thing we've heard publicly from Jacksonville was that they were discussing 4 players, the aforementioned Evan Neal from Alabama, Ike Ekwonu from North Carolina State, Aiden Hutchinson from Michigan, and Travon Walker from Georgia. So if it is down to the edge, guys, Michael, this kind of reminds me of our old Bengals feud. And one of the things that I had to keep saying, and I think we all as draft nerds kind of have to remind everybody, is that there's more than one round to the draft.
Yes.
A couple of years ago, they went just round 1 on Thursday night, and everybody focuses their energy on round 1, and we analyze round 1, and there are going to be grades coming out tonight. But the full picture of the draft matters in terms of strategy. I say that to say this. Let's say they have narrowed in on an edge rusher, either Walker or Hutchinson. Tell us about the tackle depth that could be available for Jacksonville when they're on the clock at number 1 tomorrow night, presumably if they keep the number 1 pick in the second round of the draft. Or later, for that matter.
Yeah, it falls off a little bit for me. I think if Tyler Smith, the hulking tackle from Tulsa, made it to that pick, that is very up in the air. That would be an interesting solution. I love what he can do in the run game. He's a 20-year-old prospect right now, so that green light is still coming on. He flipped over to tackle late in his high school career, so there is a lot of untapped potential with him. And then, yes, the league is high on a guy like Bernard Raymond, originally from Austria, a little bit of an older prospect, formerly a tight end in college that moved to tackle. Really good feet, really good athleticism, but raw. And when you're an older, raw prospect, that scares me. So I think I would personally, guys, take the sure thing number 1, and then look at the edge pass rush class at 33, and Arnold Ebiketie, Boye Mafe, maybe David Ajabo. Nobody expects Jacksonville to win a Super Bowl this year. They can draft and stash a David Ajabo, and that's completely fine. So I don't really fully understand the strategy, the order of the strategy here from them.
So just to be clear, you can see better edge depth in the second round that Jacksonville could tap into if they follow your advice and go Ike Ekwonu with the first overall pick.
Yeah, by a country mile for sure.
All right, let's say Jacksonville does what we think might happen. Let's say they pass on offensive linemen. Let's say they pass on Hutchinson. They take Walker. How's that affect the rest of the, say, top 5 or top 6? You still have great linemen there. You still have Hutchinson there. Everybody says, hey, Detroit takes the card and just and puts it in for Hutchinson.
I'm not so sure about that.
Do you think that's the way to go? Or would you say, hey, back-to-back, you took a lineman last year in Penei Sewell at 7, I believe it was. Why not come back and take a great lineman at number 2? What do you think they should do?
What I think they should do is take Kayvon Thibodeaux, and I'd have no problem if they took Aiden Hutchinson. You're talking about my number 2 and number 3 players in the draft. It's just what you prefer, higher floor or higher ceiling. Now, what I'll say here, guys, that fascinates me to answer the beginning of the question about the impact on the rest of the draft. I have heard, starting on Tuesday, from somebody in that building that there's a bit of the front office and scouting department views Kayvon Thibodeaux as the guy, and there are members of the coaching staff that view Aiden Hutchinson as the guy. This is a true split down the middle where nobody knows what they are going to do exactly, when for so long we were led to believe if Aiden Hutchinson is there, they would sprint in that card. Now we're seeing that turn where Kayvon Thibodeaux is absolutely in the picture and potentially the favorite to go there. Now, when you look at the trickle effect besides that, I think Houston would take Hutchinson if he fell. The Jets will take Ike Ekwonu at 4 if he's there. The Giants are going to take Evan Neal most likely, or Charles Cross. So that kind of becomes a little bit more simplified. But what the Lions do at 2 right now might be the hottest mystery in the entire draft.
Well, let me add to that.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
Let me add to that. Because, all right, Dan Campbell recently talked about, you don't need a great quarterback. You got to have a complete team. It's not just about the one, which is what you say when you have Jared Goff as your quarterback. What I'm wondering, let's say Jacksonville does follow your advice, Michael Holley, and take Aiden Hutchinson, which takes the obvious pick away from Detroit, the Michigan guy, the local kid. It makes a lot of dollars and cents to take Aiden Hutchinson if you're Detroit. But if Hutchinson is off the board, what are the chances that Detroit throws a monkey wrench in this entire draft and takes Malik Willis out of Liberty with the second pick?
No.
Because you're saying no. I'm just saying I heard that there's a possibility there. It's possible. Not likely, but if Hutchinson's off the board, I think that opens up that possibility. Have you heard anything to that effect, Connor?
It's a scenario they've discussed because they really like Malik Willis, right? And it's hard not to like Malik Willis. It's not just the untapped potential. I've told you guys before, it's very easy to believe in the person. And that's just how evaluating quarterbacks often goes once you feel comfortable with the talent. And Malik Willis has passed that test with flying colors, I would say more so than maybe any quarterback in this draft. So when you look at it like that, there is a chance. I would say it's very small because they know that they might be able to navigate from 32 and get him anyway later on. The only other team that I've heard is really in on Malik Willis in round 1 is the Pittsburgh Steelers at 20. And the question is, are they going to be aggressive to go get him, or are they going to be really patient and risk losing him? So I think the Lions, who have, we know, a bare bones roster right now, they want a blue chip position player with that number 2 overall pick. Then they want to see how the quarterback dominoes fall.
Who do you think, let's say Willis doesn't go to Detroit with that number 2 pick, who do you think will be the best, well, 2 things. Who's going to be the first quarterback to go? And ultimately, we'll play a little futuristic game. Who's going to be the best quarterback in this draft?
I think Kenny Pickett's going to be the first one to go off the board. Whether that is Carolina at 6, not as likely as it once was. They might try to move back and still get him. The Saints are very much in play for Kenny Pickett. And then the Steelers are still in play for Kenny Pickett. So that's the 3 spots for him. And Malik Willis obviously has very similar landing spots. Now, it's interesting. I have them stacked side by side, not in the top 30. I believe 31 and 32, with Pickett at 31, Willis at 32. Kenny Pickett has a high floor. He can come in, be serviceable, distribute the ball to playmakers, and run your offense. He's an older prospect. He broke out late at Pitt. His ability to distribute, throw with a little bit of anticipation and accuracy is where it needs to be. Now, there's not the upside there. The arm is average. The playmaking with his legs is average. The overall, when the play breaks down ability, you kind of shrug your shoulders. With Malik Willis, the former things, being ready to step in and play right now and be a superhero coming out of Liberty, I don't think he's there yet. I think he needs seasoning. I think he needs to marinate a little bit, and that's okay. A lot of these quarterbacks do. The arm talent, 10 times better than Kenny Pickett. The running ability, and I'm not just talking about the electric running ability. I'm talking about the vision, the smarts, the tackle breaking with a very, very thick frame. Malik Willis has all of those things. So if you're trying to hit a home run, you take Malik Willis. He has the chance to be a near superstar out of this quarterback class. That is, I won't say that about any of the rest of them. While Pickett can be a middle-of-the-pack starter, the rest of the guys, I'm just not in on any of them, to be honest with you guys.
See, this is why I'm sitting here, because I ain't got to be held accountable for missing on these picks. Because I would probably be that GM that would get myself fired swinging for the fences. Because when you say that about Malik Willis, and we had Thor Nystrom on the other day from NBC Sports Edge,
he was feeling
who
him.
probably loves Malik Willis more than anybody outside of Malik Willis's family.
Yeah.
When you say he has the ability to be a superstar, if I'm Detroit, how do I pass on that? How do I pass on that potential? Even if it means redshirting him after Jared Goff, I would rather miss trying to get a superstar quarterback than pass on a potential superstar quarterback in favor of going the safe route and taking an edge guy when I got Jared Goff as my quarterback.
And that's not necessarily a safe route either, going to the edge, because you never know what an edge guy's going to turn out to be.
Like, if I'm a miss big. I'm going to miss on a potential superstar quarterback.
I think it's a great point.
Am I asking for am I playing with fire?
No, and I'll just say the political side of this is they are very safe in Detroit, right? Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell understandably got 5-year deals. They did take on Jared Goff's money for a big draft capital return. They feel like they can retool the roster, the 53-man roster. Last year they started to, hit on a nice pick like Amon-Ra St. Brown even later on that's going to help a quarterback one day. Use these picks this year to do that. For when a quarterback comes in, the infrastructure is in place, and they feel like they have the time to do that. Whether that's right or wrong, guys, right? I get it. There's not the desperation on their end. If they win 4 games this year, I don't think they're going to be fired. And next year's quarterback class, the teams are already working on it.
So they can afford to wait.
They can afford to kick the can down the road. While a lot of teams can't, they can do it, and then a young quarterback will come into an infrastructure where he can develop the right way.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's interesting, because that's what I'm thinking about when I think about Carolina, and less so Atlanta. But I think about some of these organizations or even Seattle. It's like, can they afford to say, we'll just wait for the 2023 quarterback class? Because if you're in position to draft a C.J. Stroud, next year, or Bryce Young or somebody like that, then you probably lost a lot of games, and you're probably not going to be employed. But go ahead, Michael.
I was going to say, the nugget in all of this, and I love it, Connor, is that you say Detroit likes Thibodeaux, and it's finally I'm excited that somebody likes the guy.
I know, we heard a bunch of crap about
it. We keep hearing all the sliding talk. Tell me why they like him. I like him too. We talked to him. We loved him. Remind everybody why he's a prospect worthy of a draft slot like that.
I mean, he's been the guy since he was in high school, right? And he got to Oregon as a true freshman and somehow lived up to those massive recruit expectations. He was tremendous as a true freshman. The COVID season, obviously, he was still a good player. There's just very limited tape out in the pack. They did not get to play a lot of games. And then you look at this year, and he kept getting better, guys. The production, the pass rush win rate improved over time. Now, he has incredible speed to power. His short area explosiveness is phenomenal. He can beat you at speed to the outside, and he can embarrass you by putting his hand in your chest and putting you in the dirt. So I think when you look at it like that, and I think he plays hard. I don't know. I know there's a mixed opinion on this. When I look at the tape, listen, that team was just okay. I know he was playing hurt at times. He had that green light on and got after it and kept them in games, won them some games, which is not easy to do as a defensive end at the college level. So I think they like that, and I think some guys like his personality, that he's an outside-the-box thinker, that he's not afraid to speak outside of just being a football meathead, right? He's not afraid to speak his mind on things like that. He looks out for himself, but he also does look out for what is best on the football field. So everybody gravitates towards different personalities quite differently, but every sense I've gotten is the Lions front office has been a big fan of Kayvon Thibodeaux for a long time.
Last thing we got for you, man, is 8 teams, again, have 2 picks. So could see a flurry of activity tonight when it comes to the trade front. The team that I'm probably most interested in is that first team that has 2 picks. Said nobody ever. I'm interested in the Texans. I mean, if we were ranking like irrelevant franchises, like the Texans would be really high on the list.
Yeah,
They've been relevant for all the wrong reasons the last couple of years, and their most relevant, figure is now in Cleveland, as we know, right? Nick Caserio's got a lot of ammunition to nail this draft. But you don't have to stick to the Texans. I guess what's the scuttlebutt? Because I saw where the Texans are looking to maybe move up from that 13th slot into the top 10. What's the scuttlebutt in terms of movement, whether it's the Texans or another team that's got your attention as the clock ticks toward the first round?
Yeah, the Texans are interesting, right? They can try to get a top-flight corner like Sauce or Stingley and then still try to get an offensive lineman or vice versa. They can do it the reverse way. See what corner falls after they take their tackle of choice at 3. I find the Eagles very interesting in this draft. I think Howie Roseman is trying to be extremely aggressive for a big-time talent. I think he's looking at them sitting at 15 and 18 and going, man, the draft starts to fall off at 12. I don't want to be outside looking in, looking at everybody having fun with their blue-chip talents, and I didn't get one. I think he would move up for somebody that falls, whether that's Jamison Williams to pair with Devontae Smith, whether Kayvon Thibodeaux does slide or not. And once again, it sounds like he could go number 2 overall. And then the Kansas City Chiefs, they are not going to make all of those picks. They have a million picks, guys. They're too good of a roster to carry in a 12-man rookie class. So I think when you look at the Chiefs, they are going to be aggressive at some point. It's just a matter of when they can strike, because how many teams want to move back to pick 29 or 30? The list is pretty low, but they're going to give it a go.
Connor Rogers, man, franchise player, dude.
Franchise.
You make an immediate impact.
Yeah,
you make us better.
We'll make it easy. We'll make it easier. Connor Rogers is there. We'll take him.
You make us better every time. You always bring it. Connor Rogers from Bleacher Report. We will talk to you tomorrow, and we will certainly have plenty to cover.
Thanks so much for
from another live from Las Vegas.
Thanks so much for having me,
Connor.
guys. I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow. We're going to have a lot of fun to recap this thing.
I know it's good.
No doubt.
You got it, man. Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.